Welcome to the Parker Podcast Collection.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Hughes and Marcus Hurley.
You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. We're going to be talking about our movies of the year in a future episode, but right now we're just going to talk about some things that didn't quite make the cut.
I had the opportunity to see the Scientology documentary.
Oh, is that going clear?
It is going clear, yes. And
cool.
That is not a film that makes you feel happy about anything in the world. It is terrifying, to be honest.
Oh.
I will be... It will need to have something special in it for me to watch a Tom fucking Cruise movie again. Wow.
Wow. Does his
I'll be avoiding that
in
then.
it feature quite heavily then?
He's not officially involved. They've acquired some footage of one of the annual shindigs that they do, and I definitely felt that Cruise was kind of uncomfortable to be as much of a celebrity as he was being in the event, but he was there. He was soaking it up. He wasn't. I don't know. And I think the main thing about it is I don't really want to talk about it too much because I don't want to be added to the fucking hit list. So,
Oh God!
All I'll say is, okay, a friend of mine saw it. He said it was quite good. I trust his opinion. There you go.
But it's kind of entertaining, or just insightful.
It's
I
like
suppose,
Blackfish,
to find...
kind of.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Blackfish, but without knowing that they're going to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like they were, at least at the end of Blackfish, you knew, well, one day the animals will never be treated like this. But I can't really see Scientology not going away at the moment.
No. Oh well.
And Paul Haggis, didn't realise Paul Haggis was a crazy mad person at one point, but he was in there for 20 years or something. He's out there.
Their base is Hollywood.
Yeah.
I've actually walked past their headquarters on Hollywood Boulevard before, and it was Christmas. And they had some kind of weird little grotto thing, but you could only see it through this little tarpaulin fence.
If you paid money.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's like they had artificial snow blowing in there or something.
My only encounter with them is the little place on Tottenham Court Road in London, which may or may not be there anymore. And they were handing out flyers, and I walked past, and I think it might have been around the Christmas time or so. And they said, would you like a free personality test? And without breaking a step, I turned and said, no, thank you, I already have one. And carry on. Yeah, strange world.
And just to backtrack, I'm not saying people can't believe in different things. However, if you want to believe in something and then you don't want to believe in something, that's your right, and you should not be put in a hole and made to think about what you've done for a year plus.
Yeah,
and
precisely.
Stuff.
So yeah, let's go back to the honourable mentions. I mean, after all, people believed in Charles Manson, so let's carry on.
Yeah. So, did you have anything, Marcus?
I had a few. For me, it was my honourable mentions were John Wick, which
which almost
made the list. For me personally, I mean, regardless of whatever, but John Wick was an amazing film. I still think it's just something in it just completely resonated with me as an action film that I've always wanted to see and had missed. It almost pipped Kingsman, and made it onto the list for me. But
yeah, I liked how it kind of had a sort of knowing, kind of winky, self-referential kind of humour to it.
Precisely.
The fact that it was like the level of violence was like video game level.
Yeah.
And I loved how Keanu had like some excellent moments of performance in it, both physical and just like fucking angry man.
When he was going, am I back? Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back.
It was, and I think his brooding personality, where people often say it's quite wooden, seemed to work quite well. His mannerisms, everything about how he tends to act and almost not do too much, just seemed to fit this character perfectly. It was almost like without doing anything, he was doing a lot.
Well, yeah, they were terrified of what they'd done, and even though he hadn't actually done anything, they were so scared of what he might do that they ended up attacking him. And it was like, it just seemed like, what the hell?
Even the idea of him possibly coming after us is enough for us to hurl our entire army at him to try and stop him.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I'll do one.
Do it.
So like I said, I was really torn over, I'm actually going to cheat and do 3 at the same time. Basically, I was torn over a couple of, a bunch of sort of music movies. The first one was Amy, which is the documentary about Amy Winehouse, that just feels like such an important document of record that it should be recognised. Love and Mercy, which is the story of Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys and the way he went mental and was manipulated for years. Brilliant movie with John Cusack's playing like the older version of him, and the younger version of Brian Wilson is played by Paul Dano, and it's so it keeps swapping back in time between older Brian Wilson, who's like screwed and being kind of manipulated by this Dr. Eugene Levy, who's played by Paul Giamatti. Brilliant. He's always great. And then it goes back in time to when he was recording Pet Sounds, and all those classic Beach Boys songs. And Paul Dano actually did some of the singing himself, and they kind of mixed between like the old tapes and the new ones. But some of because of that dynamic and the fact that this character played by Elizabeth Banks, who kind of, spoiler for real life, ends up becoming his wife, she kind of intervenes in this awful situation that Brian's in, and kind of tries to wrestle him away from this evil manipulative manager / lawyer / shrink, whatever. But I never knew the story before, and even if you know it going in, I think the way that they put it together really, really works. So yeah, that was hovering around my number 5 for a little while. And finally, last but not least, Whiplash, which was out ages ago, back in January or February, and it's all about this kind of really high sort of this drummer who's got this really kind of tough conductor who kind of, it's almost like a Rocky fight, the tension between them at times, and I think that got some kind of Oscar. I don't know what Oscar it got, but it was well deserved. And so yeah, I will shut up now and let someone else speak, because I just thought I'd get to them all because they're all music films.
I have nothing else on my list, John, so it's...
Well, my other ones were...
Got tired.
John? I could speak for John.
Marcus, go and do it.
I had Sicario on there as well, as my honourable mention, because having just recently seen it, and as Ian said, it just surprised me. Considering the movie trundled along, it was quite nicely paced. It was very gritty, quite brutal, and then it just did its own thing in its own way, and you're left going, "Huh, that was quite satisfying," in a weird way,
in a very dark, uncomfortable way. Yeah,
yeah, it's a great cast in that as well. Benicio del Toro's.
I'm not a big fan of him, but I thought he was really good in this.
He was, yeah. You weren't quite sure what to make of him, and I think that was the entire point. Yeah. It was just, that Inside Out. I had Avengers Age of Ultron, but I might have struck that. It might have lower tier. Spectre, lower tier. And Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, only because I enjoyed it in cinema. But, yeah, that was pretty much my honourable mentions for film.
We missed a segue there earlier.
We did, yes. I did enjoy that film. I thought that was a good romp. If a bit formulaic, it's becoming like
but
the
it is
Roger
the Mission
Moore
Impossible
Bond movies,
thing. So maybe it's becoming like film episodes.
Yeah,
I think I preferred that to the new Bond, to be honest.
I thought that Skyfall was a hell of a lot better than Spectre. And it
Skyfall
remains
was a
one of my
remarkable
best.
movie, though.
Yeah, it remains one of my best Bond films possibly ever, I think.
It'll be hard to beat that one as far as Bond movies go. But yeah, I've just got two more that I wanted to mention. Predestination has been my number 5 movie all of this year until very recently.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it came out in the States in 2014, so and it came out here with a bit of a whimper, really. But it's an exceptional film. It's got such a great idea. It's kind of like snake eating its own tail sort of thing.
Isn't it on the streaming services at the moment?
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't looked, but yeah, it's kind of a time travel sci-fi movie. Ethan Hawke. And a few other recognisable faces.
You can rent it from Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. That's well worth checking out. And also a film that I watched just this weekend called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, which is kind of about this young guy in school he calls him his co-worker, Earl. He's like his mate, basically. They Swede movies, but they change the titles very slightly before they do. So it leads to he makes all these like little home movies and stuff, and his mum kind of peer pressures him into spending some time with this girl he knows from school who lives nearby who's got leukemia. And the way that they've done it sounds like it could be incredibly depressing, but it's actually not at all. It's quite funny. There's some really interesting use of the camera and the way it's edited together and stuff. So it's quite interesting to look at. In fact, it's edited by the brother of Dan Trachtenberg from the Totally Red Show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's getting that name check in there. So, but when I watched it, it came up and I was like, oh yeah, of course, it's that one, because I remember hearing about it, that he'd done one. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend that as well.
Cool.
This has been the Not Watching Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian talk about video games and virtual reality on the Not Playing Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can email us at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Bye.